When the first whistle blew and Barcelona's was read out for the season opening, there was one name the crowd, and the commentator who had been raving about him all summer, or so may, expected to see but didn't. Roony Bardghji, He had been one of the brightest sparks of pre-season, quick, incisive, and clearly fight for first-team minutes, yet he was absent from the official matchday squad not because of fitness or form, but because of a legal chess game being played off the pitch. Inside the club, the conversation wasn't about tactic but about rules. Whether to register him with Barça Athletic and let him carry a reserve listing or to pounce and push for a first-team license immediately. The choice would have looked perfectly sensible a month ago, but a rise development forced Barcelona to think twice. Real Madrid's Franco Mastantuono was registered in a way that many judged to be more paperwork artifice than sporting reality, and that registration has since become a lightning rod for regulatory scrutiny. Adelcy is a principle buried in the fifth code that, so you can't use a reserve affiliation as a low-foul to treat a player like a first-teamer on paper while circumventing squad limit in practice. The rule is blunt. Affiliation is not an instrument to evade the spiration, and any agreement that contraven that spiris risks being called fraudulent and nullified. That legal clarity and the public uproar that followed the Mastantuono made Barcelona's recruitment and registration staff rethink a move that might have been automatic in calmer times and Barca-matic in calmer times. Although registering Bardghji with the reserve would have been a neat administrative workaround that keeps option open and avoids a potential first crunch. Gistery, crazy pasevi. On the other hand, it would aid a parallel to Madrid's controversy and exposed Barça to the same question. Is this genuine reserve placement or a disguised first team or a disguised first team registration? Rather than risk a technical protest, administrative penalty, or worse, reputational damage in a transfer window already heavy with headlines, Barcelona shows caution. The club's internal logic is simple. Protect long-term club credibility, even if it means short-term frustration for a promising teenager who is ready to contribute. For Frieders, that decision explains why Joan Garcia and Marquis Rashford, both filed and cleared, made their debut while Bardghji watched from the sideline. It also explained the month-long waiting posture. Barca will watch the outcome of the Mastantuono case, take legal advice, and only fill paperwork that cannot be reasonably challenged. For fun, that sounds, by designs, for fans, that sounds tactical. And it is also so tactical. A single misfiled registration could not only cost minute for a player but could trigger sanction that affect a multiple match or transfer undermine negation in the market and unrival a procedural advantage. For Bardghji personally, the pause is a test of patience. Thunderous of patience. This is a player who has shown in training he belongs in the first team conversation. Missing a Rupneaya is momentum, and his momentum will inevitably feed speculation and social media noir. But there's a constructive reading too. The club's postervids and confidence in his velostars, in his value. They didn't try to force him into a safe slot where he'd never play. They positioned him as a first, wait for the clearest administrative route. Practically, Barcelona have option. They can push for a straight first team license before the secretary deadline. At the end of the month, they can seek a formally justified exception if they are mitigating registration rules, tard aid or preview station rules, tied or preview club state or prayers or preview club station. Or they can aware definitive ruling in the Mastantuono case that settles Preserda across La Liga. The time frame masse, delay beyond the window. Delay beyond the window being fewer double match days and increased pressure on rotation as the season intensifies. Coaching staff will have to balance quantitative needs with passions per app. Using Bardghji in friendly and behind closed doors minute until the paperwork is clean. The broader lesson for club acro spin is plain. Sporting plain, only as good as the legal scaffolding. Transfeed and singing create a narrative on the pitch, but they are realized or are undone in the registry rooms of federation. Bardghji risk a step back rather than sprint forward, signal a new respect for that reality. It is couture, risk averse, and for the moment protective of the club's standing. For supporters, the immediate feeling will be disappointment in passions. They want to see new talents unleashed. But for those who watch the long arc, this episode could be remembered as a club choosing administrative integrity over headline, protecting young players' career pass from being tainted by procedural controversy. Son, hundreds, keep an eye on the coming weeks. How the Mastantuono story resolve will likely determine Bardghji's immediate fate, and if Barcelona's legal caution pay of the club will have both chosen its repugnancy of the repose intact.